Hello, everyone. This is going to be a live stream for Pisces. Pisces, welcome to my live stream. Today is August 27, 2026. So, the live stream I'm going to do today, Pisces, is especially for you guys. In this live stream, I'm going to talk about what it means to have a full moon in Pisces. We are in Pisces energy today. We're going to go into a full moon tomorrow in your zodiac. I'm also going to talk about Pisces far as in tarot is concerned. The card I have here showing Pisces is the High Priestess, and this is the tarot card that represents your energy. This is why I have the card here. I did the reading for the water signs, the full moon water signs reading. I did it 2 days ago. So these messages can pertain to Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. I'm doing the live streams on the elements only. I'm not doing individual yet. Individuals recording will start possibly next week or the week after that. So to hear your messages, Pisces, check out my playlist and my live stream where it says tarot readings. So your reading will be on there. Like, share, subscribe, follow, comment. If you're interested in donating my channel, there is a link in my bio in order for you guys to do that. Take the messages in the tarot reading as they resonate with you. They're general messages, so only take what resonates with you. Leave what doesn't. Today, what I'm going to talk about, same thing. Take what resonates with you. Leave what doesn't. Okay, Pisces. So let me get started. So like I said, tomorrow we are going into the full moon energy under your zodiac, which is connected to a deep partial lunar eclipse. Okay, Pisces. The moon has already moved into Pisces, and with the full moon energy, it's going to reach its peak overnight between August 27 and August 28. This is also called the sturgeon moon, which is the traditional name for the August full moon. Because of this eclipse, the energy may feel more intense than an ordinary full moon. So I want to remind everyone that astrology is symbolic. It gives us a theme to reflect on it. It does not mean that every person will experience the same event in exactly the same way. Okay, so that's just a reminder for you guys to take that into consideration. When it comes to a full moon, so a full moon occurs when the sun and the moon are opposite of one another. The sun represents conscious awareness, identity, action, and what we are able to see. The moon represents our actions, memories, intuition, habits, and our subconscious reactions. During a full moon, something reaches a point of cultivation. So this gives us the energy to receive things clearly, realize things emotionally, look at endings, look at results, look at things that are being revealed to us regarding something that has been building over time. So a full moon does not always mean that something ends immediately. Sometimes it just simply gives light to what we are no longer able to ignore. It can show us where we have outgrown a certain situation, where we are emotionally exhausted, or where there is a need to make a decision. This full moon in Pisces, while the sun is in Virgo, because we are currently in Virgo season, we've been in Virgo season since this Sunday that just passed. So we are working with the polarity between Pisces and Virgo, okay? So Virgo is an earth sign. Virgo is connected to structure, organization, health, routine, work, responsibilities, details, and practical environment. Pisces is a water sign. That is your element. You are water element. So Pisces is connected to emotions, dreams, spirituality, imagination, compassion, intuition, surrender, healing, and the unseen world. So the Virgo and Pisces polarity asks us to balance faith with our own discernment. Pisces may say, trust the process, listen to your intuition, allow things to unfold. Virgo may say, look at the facts, make a plan, pay attention to the details. We need both, actually. Pisces without Virgo can become confusing, unrealistic, or overly idealistic. Virgo without Pisces can become overly critical, anxious, rigid, or obsessed with control. So during this full moon that is going to happen, these are a few questions that I feel like will be good for us to ask ourselves, which is, where do I need to surrender? Where do I need to become more organized? What am I avoiding because I do not want to face reality? What dream of mine needs a practical plan? Where am I giving too much of myself? Where do I need stronger emotional or perhaps spiritual boundaries? Now, let's talk about Pisces when it comes to astrology. So Pisces is the 12th and final sign of the zodiac, of the astrology wheel. Because it is the last sign, Pisces carries the energy of completion, reflection, surrender, and transition. So Pisces is like the ocean. The ocean has no clear boundaries between one wave and another. That is why Pisces can be very sensitive to the emotions and energy around them. Pisces may absorb the atmosphere of a room, the mood of another person, or feelings that are not even their own. So Pisces is a compassionate, imaginative, spiritual, romantic, artistic, and intuitive zodiac sign. Pisces is a sign that can feel deeply and understand things without needing everything like explained to them. Pisces can be connected to dreams, music, poetry, film, fantasy, creativity, meditation, prayer, psychic impressions, and emotional healing. Now, Pisces also has a shadow side, and every zodiac has a shadow side, okay? So the shadow side of Pisces can include escape, like wanting to escape from their own reality, denial, confusion, unrealistic expectations, having poor boundaries, secrecy, procrastination, being emotionally avoidant, or seeing someone as who we hope they will become instead of who this person really is. Having a sense of martyrdom, meaning like they have a sense of like wanting to sacrifice for everybody else because they feel like that's what they have to do. Pisces energy can sometimes say, I feel this person's potential while ignoring the person's behavior. That is why the Virgo influence is important. Virgo asks, what are the facts? What is actually happening? Is this intuition or is this fear, fantasy, or perhaps some wishful thinking of my own? Now, when it comes to the Pisces symbol, which is the two fish, the symbol for Pisces is the two fish swimming in opposite directions, usually connected by a cord or a ribbon. These two fish represent duality. One fish may be swimming towards the spiritual world, imagination, dreams, and higher conscious, while the other fish may be swimming towards ordinary life, emotions, relationships, responsibilities, and the physical world. The cord connecting them represents the connection between these two realities. Pisces is constantly navigating between the material world and the spiritual world, between logic and intuition, between being present and wanting to escape, between individuality and merging with others. Hello, Limit. How are you? Welcome to my live stream. I'm doing a live stream right now regarding Pisces. The two fish can also represent the emotional contradictions Pisces may experience. One part of a person may want to move forward, while another part remains attached to the past. One part may want solitude, while another part longs for deep connections. One part may want to trust, while another part is afraid of being disappointed. So the goal is not to choose between one fish. The goal is to learn how to keep both connected. We have intuition and we also have our common sense. We can be passionate and still have boundaries. We can also dream while also creating a plan. Now, Pisces is mutable water. So water represents emotion, intuition, sensitivity, and the subconscious. Mutable energy represents flexibility, movement, transition, and adaptation. This makes Pisces highly receptive. Pisces can adjust to different people and environments, but that flexibility can sometimes become a lack of boundaries or a lack of clear identity. Pisces may ask, who am I in this situation? What does this person need from me? How can I help? The important question during this full moon is also, what do I need? Being compassionate does not mean abandoning yourself. Being spiritual does not mean ignoring reality. Being forgiving does not mean allowing the same behavior to continue. Now let's talk about Pisces planetary rulers. Pisces is traditionally ruled by Jupiter and modernly ruled by Neptune. Jupiter represents faith, spirituality, wisdom, expansion, and the search for something greater. Neptune represents dreams, imaginations, intuition, mysticism, compassion, creativity, and the unconscious. The positive side of Neptune is inspiration. It can give someone a strong artistic or spiritual connection. The difficult side is confusion, illusion, idealization, and not seeing things clearly. That is another reason this full moon may bring emotional clarity. Pisces can sometimes blur the lines, but a full moon brings into light what has been hidden. This may be a time when someone realizes, I was ignoring what I already knew. I keep hoping instead of looking at the evidence. I keep hoping instead of looking at the actual facts, at what is actually in front of me. I was carrying emotions that did not belong to me. I need to release the fantasy and accept the truth. I still love someone and understand that that person was toxic for me, that person was not healthy for me. Now, when it comes to a lunar eclipse happens during a full moon. The earth moves between the sun and the moon, and the earth's shadow falls across the moon. So spiritually and astrologically, a lunar eclipse is often viewed as an intense full moon. It can bring emotional turning points, revelations, closures, and changes in perspective. A lunar eclipse may reveal something that was developing beneath the surface. It can bring a situation to a head or make it impossible to continue pretending that everything is fine. This is a partial lunar eclipse, which means the entire moon will not be completely covered, but it is a very deep partial eclipse, so the moon may appear darker or reddish as Earth's shadow moves across it. Astrologically, I would say this eclipse is like an emotional clearing. Pisces is the final sign of the zodiac. So this energy is connected to the closing of a chapter. Like I said, this does not mean everyone will experience a dramatic ending. For some people, the ending may happen internally. They may stop waiting. They may stop chasing. They may stop explaining themselves. They may stop holding on to an old version of their life. Sometimes closure is not another conversation. Sometimes closure is the moment we finally accept what the situation has already shown us. Hello, Maria. If you have a tarot question, you have to go to the link in my bio, make an appointment. I'm not answering any questions on the live stream. I don't answer questions in the live stream overall. For that, you have to go a link in my bio and make an appointment. Now, earlier this month, there was a total solar eclipse on August 12th. Now we have this Pisces lunar eclipse. A solar eclipse can symbolize a new beginning, a new direction, or the planting of a seed. A lunar eclipse can reveal what must be released, completed, or emotionally processed, so that we can view the two eclipses as two connected parts of a larger transition. First, something new is introduced, then something old is illuminated and released. The solar eclipse may have had open a door, while the lunar eclipse shows us that we cannot carry through the door. This may apply to relationships, emotional patterns, things at work, family situation, spiritual beliefs, living arrangements, the way our habits are financially, or the way we see ourselves. So this full moon coming up may bring up emotions that we have been suppressing. People may feel more sensitive, nostalgic, dreamy, emotional, tired, intuitive, or spiritually open. Some may have vivid dreams or sudden memories. Others may feel the need to withdraw. They want to rest, they want to cry, they want to journal, they want to create, they want to pray or spend time alone. There could also be a stronger awareness of where we have been overgiving. Pisces sometimes gives people the desire to rescue others, but this full moon is asking us, are you helping or are you carrying someone who refuses to help themselves? Are you being compassionate or are you abandoning your own needs? Are you forgiving or are you someone who gives people unlimited access to hurt you? Are you following your intuition or are you attached to a certain illusion? The Pisces full moon encourages emotional release, but release does not mean forcing yourself to stop carrying. It means allowing yourself to stop carrying what is no longer yours. In relationships, this full moon can reveal emotional truth. Some people may recognize where they have been idolizing someone. Others may realize that they are attached to a memory, a fantasy, or the potential of a person rather than the reality of who that person really is. Pisces energy can be deeply romantic. It can create a strong spiritual or emotional bond, but it can also make people overlook the inconsistency. This full moon is asking us to look at the difference between chemistry, compatibility, between longing and mutual effort, and between intuition and projection. A good spiritual connection should not require us to ignore disrespect, dishonesty, neglect, manipulation, or emotional instability. If a person really values you, their behavior should eventually show you that. You should not have to survive like a potential. You should not have to survive a promise. You should not have to keep longing, from the past of the memories, or like you getting breadcrumb to get attention here and there whenever that person decides to give you attention, okay? For some people, this eclipse may bring a relationship closer through honesty. For others, it may help them accept that like a cycle has completed, accept that this is what it is and it needs to come to an end. Or if it already ended, this is what it was and it's ended, it's over with, this cycle is wrapping up. I need to look into creating a new chapter for myself. Stop abandoning yourself to make the other person feel better, and while you're over here still stuck on whatever happened in the past, okay? The Virgo side of this full moon reminds us that spirituality must be connected to our daily life. Like, it is wonderful to dream, visualize, meditate, want to manifest, and connect with our intuition. But we also need to remember that we need to have our sleep. We need to take care of ourselves, to eat properly, look at the way our lifestyle is when it comes to that, like organize our responsibilities, like I said, pay attention to our health and create structure. So the full moon is going to show us where our emotional state is affected by our daily habits. Do we feel tired because we're doing too much for everybody else? Are we being overwhelmed because we have no routine? Are we avoiding an important task because it feels like it's emotionally uncomfortable for us? Are we expecting spiritual energy to replace practical action? Pisces gives the dream, Virgo helps us create the plan. So a good intention for us to have for this full moon would be, am I bringing my spiritual vision into practical form? Now, let me talk about the tarot connection with Pisces. So when we talk about Pisces and tarot, this is the major arcana card that I have here showing, which is, well, the former major arcana was the moon. All right. And now we basically acknowledge it as the high priestess. Actually, the moon card is the sign to Cancer, but you could say for me personally as a reader, I take it the moon and the high priestess as both as Pisces energy. And like I said, this is the tarot card, high priestess, okay? So the high priestess is traditionally associated with the moon itself, like I said. She represents intuition, silence, mystery, hidden knowledge, the subconscious, dreams, and the wisdom that comes from listening like inward, okay? Pisces, however, like I said, is traditionally connected with the moon card. The high priestess absolutely carries a strong Pisces-like energy, so we can include her in an archetype while I explain like the traditional correspondence when it comes to the other card, the moon. All right. So actually, let me put this back. The high priestess sits between two pillars, often representing opposite forces such as light and darkness, conscious and the unconscious, masculine and feminine, or the visible and the invisible world. The high priestess is quiet. She is quiet because she does not need to prove what she knows. She is connected to intuition, spiritual perception, hidden information, dreams, secrets, and inner wisdom. The high priestess does not rush. She watches, she listens, she observes what is not being said. So this is a powerful message for this Pisces full moon. You don't need to force an answer, like you don't need to become quiet enough to hear the answer you already know. The high priestess teaches us discernment. Intuition is not always loud. Sometimes intuition is the calm realization that something is no longer right for you. Now, the shadow side of the high priestess can involve secrecy, withholding information, being too silent, or knowing the truth but refusing to acknowledge it. So during this full moon, these are good questions that we should be considering. What do I already know? What truth have I been avoiding? What is my body telling me? What is my intuition telling me when I'm not distracted? Am I being too silent because I am wise because I feel like I'm wise, or because like I am too afraid to speak. Now, I did say the moon card is the formal tarot card connected to Pisces. I don't have the Rider-Waite deck with me, so I'm going to show you guys the moon card from one of my other decks. I should have had that card out already, but I'm sorry about that. All right. So this is the moon card. This is actually from the deck of the Seer's Tarot. So this is the Seer's Tarot moon card deck. So like I said, the moon card is the former tarot card connected to Pisces. So the moon card shows in the traditional Rider-Waite, it shows a path between two towers. So there is often a dog and a wolf representing the domestic and wild parts of ourselves. There's also water, the subconscious, and a creature emerging from the water. In this tarot card from the Seer's deck, you see a person that's emerging. Kind of looks like a mermaid. And then you see the two wolves on the opposite sides and the moon. Okay. So the moon represents dreams, intuition, uncertainty, illusion, fear, hidden emotions, and things that are not fully revealed. The moon does not always mean it's negative. It means we do not have the entire picture yet. Under the moon, we may feel confused because we are navigating through darkness, but the card also tells us pay attention to our instincts while avoiding impulsive conclusions. The moon asks us to separate like our intuition from anxiety, facts from things that we assumed, spiritual messages from wishful thinking, compassionate from rescuing, genuine connection from emotional attachment. So the moon card and the Pisces full moon both say something is being revealed, but you may not need patience before you understand the entire story. So Pisces and the Cup suit. Why this card fell. Okay. Now Pisces is also connected strongly with the suit of cups. So that is the suit for Pisces, which is the suit of cups. And this is referring to tarot. What I'm saying right now is referring to tarot, okay? So Pisces is connected with the suit of cups because cups represents emotions, relations, intuitions, creativity, and the subconscious, okay? So this is examples of the tarot cards. Now, the first one would be the Eight of Cups. So let me show that to you guys. All right. All right. So this is the Eight of Cups. Okay. So the Eight of Cups represents walking away from something emotionally familiar because it no longer fulfills you. Then you have the Knight of Cups, which can represent emotional satisfaction, wishes, and recognizing what truly makes you happy. The Ten of Cups can represent emotional fulfillment, family, harmony, and the visual of a happy future. But the Cups also reminds us that emotions can influence how we interpret situations. We may see what we want to see when we are emotionally attached. So this eclipse may ask us to choose emotional truth over emotional fantasy. Now, I can do a whole live stream about that when it comes to the Suit of Cups, which will basically refer to all the water signs, because all the water signs connect to those suits, which, like I said, the water signs are Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. But that's like a separate live stream. That's more like a tarot class itself, actually. So maybe in the future I will do that, but not right now. So these are a few themes to consider under this full moon. You know, the need to save everybody. Guilt that does not belong to you. Relationships based only on potential. Emotional confusion. Unrealistic expectations. Fear of disappointing other people. The habit of ignoring red flags. The belief that suffering proves love. The shame around sensitivity. The need to have every answer immediately. Pisces teaches us that endings are not always failures. Sometimes an ending is just a form of compassion towards ourselves. My advice for this full moon is to slow down before making emotional decisions. Feelings may be intense, but intensity does not always mean urgency. Give yourself time to process. You can write things down. You can pay attention to the patterns. Look at actions like instead of only words, okay? So this is a good time for us to rest, pray if you're the one into prayer, meditate, journaling, do something that you feel is creative, cleansing, quiet reflection, releasing emotional weights, cleaning your space, cleaning your room, your apartment, getting things, not to be like all cluttered, because we're getting rid of what we don't need, we're releasing. So that's also a way that we can do that, to make sure that our area, our room, our apartment is clean, our cars is clean. Those are just examples that I'm giving you. It's a good time to like organize things in our daily lives overall. Review your schedule. It's another example. Look at things that are like unfinished business, with people or with things that, you have put on the side to do. So this is a good time to take care of that. Also look at what boundaries you need to create with your own energy. All right. Use spirituality to help you face reality with more than just compassion and wisdom, okay? Don't look at spirituality like it's a way to avoid reality. So the full moon in Pisces is asking us to honor our emotions without, like I said, without allowing our emotions to control every decision. It is asking us to remain compassionate while remembering like we don't need to sacrifice for everyone and everything. All right. It's asking us to trust our intuition while checking all the facts that have to be checked. It's asking us to release what has already completed its purpose. As the final sign of the zodiac wheel, Pisces reminds us that every ending contains the beginning of another cycle. You don't know exactly what comes next, but you can still release what you know, what you know, and you can also release what you are not gonna carry over for your next chapter for the following moon cycle. All right. You don't know exactly what comes next, but like I said, you know, you can release it. You can release what you no longer need because that helps you move forward. I want to give you some affirmations that I feel like will be good for this full moon. I release confusion and return it to clarity. I trust my intuition and I also honor the facts. I look at the facts. I can be compassionate without abandoning myself. Like I allow complete chapters to close and remain closed. I make space for peace, healing, and a new beginning. So that will be all for the live stream. I hope that you guys learned what it means to be in a full moon in Pisces. What exactly is this Pisces energy? Some information about the zodiac, some information about the moon card and the high priestess when it comes to tarot, how it connects with tarot. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you're not subscribed to me yet, to have your notifications on. Leave comments as you like, Pisces. I did say at the beginning of the live stream, and I'm going to repeat it right now. I made the full moon reading 2 days ago for the water sign. So if you are interested, Pisces, to look into that, look in my live stream playlist where it says full moon reading. It's going to be in the water element, which is, once again, I'm going to repeat, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. Check that video out. Comment on that. There's messages for all the water signs. Remember that all the messages are general. Only take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't, Pisces. If you'd like to donate to my channel, there is a link on there. And that will be all. I'll see you guys for your following live stream. Have a blessed full moon coming up, Pisces. And remember everything that I just said. This is a time that we make space for our healing and looking forward to what we can have with a new beginning, what can move forward to a new chapter, get rid of anything that does not align with us, anything that is not for our higher good, Pisces. You know, most of all, we gotta look at the things when it comes to peace and to healing, you know, within ourselves first, because everything starts with ourselves first, Pisces, and then we can look that in the concept of others. All right. So I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Take care, Pisces. Bye.